One of our viewers, Scott Hilbert, said, why don't you show us what a normal day in the life is like for you guys? So this week, Scott, it's coming at you. Normal day in the life. Here we go. So every morning I plug in my charger. This is 12 volts, so from the batteries, then the house batteries connected to solar, then I plug in my CPAP, usually easier when I have two hands. It's flashing right now that it's connected to power, so I just tuck this guy in here. He kind of hangs out during the day while we're driving, charges up. So driving days mean quick breakfast. So quick breakfast is usually right here. So we'll go to the second kitchen and get our breakfast. Good morning, neighbors. Oh yeah, there's no neighbors. Alright, we've arrived in the second kitchen. Oh, there it is. Alright. This is where we're hanging out last night, watching the sunset over there. It's quite nice. Pretty good view, huh? Yeah. Alright. Back in we go. So breakfast on a travel day is usually something really quick. Today we're having frosted mini wheats, cup of coffee, and basking in the joy of spending time with each other. Quick check of our monitors this morning kind of gives us an idea of what we need to put on our agenda today. So batteries are full for lots of sunshine today. So fresh water, 2/3 full. So it wouldn't hurt us to get a little more fresh water. Black water, full. Always says it's full, so we don't get too excited about that. Gray water, full. Usually this doesn't tell us that our gray water is full unless our gray water is full. We have been boondocking now for about a week, but we did our last black and gray water dump, I want to say about 5 days ago. So be really, really surprised if our gray water was actually full. This might just be a sensor that's being a little wonky today. And I think in the last 5 days we've showered. Each of us took one shower, then our usual cooking and toileting and that kind of stuff. So be really, really surprised if both our black and gray water are full. But the black I tend to ignore, like I said, but the gray water, usually it's pretty reliable. So we're going to add it to our list today as we're traveling that we need to stop and dump our tanks. Just knowing it's going to be really warm today, downright hot, I'll go ahead and close up our top slide there. It's unusual for us to actually use the chairs. Once the weather's warmed up, I'd say we're using them, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a week. But definitely in the winter, we didn't use the chairs. So part of our routine of getting up to go for travel did not include putting away like yard furniture.
I usually gather up all the garbage and take it to the front. We usually put it on Steve's side. I don't know that he likes that, but it's easier at gas stations. You can see that he's loaded up his side so that garbage doesn't fit anymore.
Oh.
Hmm.
Garbage doesn't fit on my side?
Yeah, even though it's easier, since at gas stations that's usually the side you would get stuff.
I can't hear you. So we're not doing too bad. So 8:46, so from alarm to...
You set an alarm?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I woke you gently after that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So from alarm to like getting ready to drive away, we're about 45 minutes. Usually we're a little closer to an hour. So I'd say we're doing pretty well this morning. So now we're lucky enough, we're on BLM land where they were intelligent enough they actually have a large trash can, so we get to go dump our trash. So this is a good way to start. So part of our planning for like a day of travel like today is looking ahead of, okay, where are we going to empty our tanks if we need to empty our tanks. Today, because our tanks are saying they're both full, we're really paying attention to, like, let's look down the road, where are we headed today and where can we dump our tanks. So between Noelle and I, we might have 8 different apps that we can use to look for places to camp overnight, places to get fresh water, places we can dump our tanks. So on a day like today, when the tank sensors are saying that they're full, we have a route in mind that we're going to go. So we're going right now about an hour away. Noelle found some place where we could do a dump of our water and all that for like $5. We prefer the free dump stations, but in this case, with both tanks reading full, I'm more concerned about making sure we dump the tanks than I'm concerned about saving $5. A lot of the time though, when we're setting out in the morning like this, we don't really have a end destination in mind. We're gonna drive until we're tired, which usually isn't more than 3 or 4 hours, and then we're gonna find somewhere to stop for the night. Right now we're in Utah, and Utah just seems amazing for BLM land. I mean, it is freaking everywhere. So it's not difficult at all for us right now to find places to boondock pretty much every single night for free. Some of the other states we've been in have been much, much more challenging, where just by lack of public lands and our lack of desire to sleep literally on like the side of the freeway somewhere, we end up planning our days sometimes 2 or 3 days in advance of trying to find that next free spot that we're going to go to. But for today, we've just got we've got our dump station in mind, about an hour down the road, and after that, we really don't have a destination in mind. So I guess you'll find out along with us where we end up today.
Time to get a little propane.
On our way through this tiny town, we saw a gas station, so we decided to stop and fill up. We had just under 3/4 of a tank, but thought, oh, you know, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere out here. And then luckily right next door they had propane, so kind of got 2 birds with 1 stone. And as always, tracking our mileage. So this tank of gas, 9.6, certainly a far cry from great gas mileage. Great being defined as over 10. Superior being defined as Noel got 16.5. So we're a long ways from that. Anyway, just 2 more errands to knock off our list as we get started on this day of travel. We're about halfway through our day, and honestly we forgot to film almost anything. So we might be 60, 80 miles down the road from where we talked to you last. We stopped and we got some diesel, and then we got some propane because it was right there, easy to fill up. And then after that we came into Bryce National Park, where they had the $5, according to Camp Indian, the $5 gray and black water disposal. So we did that. That took us about a half hour or so. There was a queue of people, and then it turned out there was nowhere to pay, so it turned out to be free. We barely like meandered around like Bryce National Park. It's really crowded today, so we decided after like 3-4 days in a row of hiking, we're still pretty tired and dehydrated. So we decided we'll come back and do Bryce another time. So today we got the stickers and the postcard. That's about it. Now we're, I don't know, 20 miles down the road from Bryce, and we stopped. Just remembered, like, oh, we haven't filmed anything, but we got this really cool scene behind me. I think
Red Canyon, I think?
Yeah, we're in Red Canyon. I'm not sure. Are these called hoodoos?
I think so.
Hoodoo.
So this afternoon we went to a little town called Beaver after we went to Bryce Canyon. After that we came out of town and we went to Minersville, something like that. I think we are at Hanging Rock Recreation Area. Steve cooked us some fried tofu for dinner, delicious, and salad. So we've been on a huge salad kick the last few days, probably because it's so darn hot. And we are parked, we'll show you the outside, but we're parked by a stream that's covered in moss, so we can't really go in it. But there's also a covered picnic area right next to us, so it's a pretty good spot to spend the evening, I'd say.
Our objective today was really to show you what it's like to live in a camper van on a like a travel day for us. But as our day has progressed, I've come to realize there's really different kinds of travel days that we have. There are travel days where we're moving from point A to point B, which is kind of what I thought we were going to be filming today. But then there's travel days like what we've had, which are really like our first day back in the camper van traveling after we've been boondocking for a while. So we didn't go from point A to point B today. We went from A to B to C to D to E. Now we're at F. We're at our final spot for the day. So we ended up stopping at a grocery store and doing some resupplying there. Once we got out here to a pretty sweet location that we found on Camp Indium, we're right by a stream. There's nobody else out here. It's just us, and we've got this awesome little structure here that we can hang out under if we want to. But once we got here and got all kind of settled in and had dinner, we realized that we have an interview tomorrow morning to actually talk about what it is we're doing, and we have zero cell service out here. So even though we have this sweet spot, we're about to vacate it and head back to the nearest town, which is Beaver, Utah, where they do sell souvenirs. I love Beaver, or coffee cups, I love Beaver, or bumper stickers, I love Beaver.
We get the point.
There's a whole store dedicated to those that have a love of the town of Beaver. So we're headed back to Beaver. There's like a campground there, and we know we can get Wi-Fi service, and there's also ones we know when we get back in that area, we have cell phone service if the campground doesn't work out.
And it's only like 15 minutes.
Yeah. So hopefully tomorrow we can actually show you what it's like when we travel from point A to point B, because it is slightly a different rhythm than what we've had today. Today's rhythm was just start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. So maybe tomorrow we'll show you a day where it's just kind of smooth sailing, start to finish. Let's look around though before we say goodbye for the moment.
There's cupcake.
If our video had the ability to show you temperature, what it would show you right at this moment is somewhere around 90, 92 degrees. An hour or two ago, we were hanging out here just reading our books or whatever, and when I went in the camper, it showed the outside temperature was 102 and our inside temperature was like 96. So it's really, really warm. So if we just happen to end up at a campground tonight where we can plug Cupcake in and we would have air conditioning,
That'd be okay with you?
I could take one for the team. You know, all about just bring publicity to our website, what it is that we do.
Yeah. That's why we need air conditioning.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.